In the vast silence of the cosmos, where stars drift like ancient lanterns across an ocean of darkness, there are moments that seem almost scripted moments, when the universe itself appears to test our awareness. This week we find ourselves in one of those moments. An object born in another star system, perhaps older than the solar system itself, now passes perilously close to Mars, just 0.2 astronomical units away. We call it 3Iatlas, the third confirmed interstellar object ever to enter our cosmic neighborhood. But those who have studied it know that this name, neat and bureaucratic, hides something truly unsettling. Because nothing about 3Iatlas behaves like a normal visitor from the stars. Right now, as we speak, it is racing through the inner solar system at nearly 60 kilometers per second, a velocity that will climb to 68 kilometers per second at perihelion later this month on October 29th and 30th. At those speeds, this object could cross the distance between Earth and the Moon in just over an hour. And yet, despite this staggering velocity, it remains aligned almost perfectly with the ecliptic plane, the same flat sheet on which the planets orbit the Sun. That in itself is strange. Most interstellar wanderers like Oumuamua or Borisov cut sharply across our solar plane, slicing through at wild angles. Atlas, on the other hand, glides almost in lockstep with us, as though it were designed to enter our system on a deliberate trajectory. And now, at this critical moment, it drifts into the sights of the many probes orbiting Mars, the red planet, our forward base in the exploration of the solar system. In a perfect world, this would be an astronomer's dream. Every instrument, every camera, every spectrometer turn toward this cosmic enigma. But this is not a perfect world, because as fate or irony would have it, the United States government is in shutdown. NASA websites are dark. Social media updates have gone silent. And so, at the very moment when humanity stands at the edge of a profound interstellar encounter, our largest space agency has quite literally gone offline. Now, I will refrain from making political comments. Science transcends such cycles of bureaucracy, but it is, to say the least, deeply unfortunate timing. In the midst of what could be one of the most consequential astronomical events in our lifetime, millions of government employees are furloughed, observatories sit idle, and the flow of data that should be illuminating our understanding of this interstellar visitor has slowed to a trickle. Yet, even in silence, the universe continues to speak. Just days ago, the Perseverance rover, still trundling across the Martian surface, captured a series of images that may already hold the first glimpses of 3Iatlas streaking across the Martian sky. The discovery came not from official channels, but from a careful observer on social media, a woman named Drew, who noticed something odd in a set of exposure frames. Across 9 minutes of data, a mysterious streak appeared, cutting across the image at an angle inconsistent with the apparent rotation of the Martian sky. When you take long exposures from a rotating planet, stars leave faint vertical trails, evidence of planetary spin. But this streak, bright, sharp, and perfectly linear, defied that motion. It appeared in multiple frames. It moved too quickly to be a star, too deliberately to be noise, and too bright to be a speck of cosmic dust. What could it be? Well, consider the timing. On October 2nd, 3Iatlas was indeed at its closest approach to Mars. Its size estimated to be at least 5 kilometers in diameter, possibly larger, and its incredible brightness would make it one of the few interstellar objects visible even with Mars's thin atmosphere and weak night sky. In all likelihood, that streak was Atlas itself, captured serendipitously by Perseverance as it blazed past. It is astonishing to think that, right now, an alien object, perhaps one that has traveled for tens of thousands of years through the interstellar void, is passing so close to another world where our own machines stand ready to record it. We are, quite literally, meeting the galaxy halfway. Of course, Perseverance's images are only the beginning. Orbiting Mars right now are several spacecraft capable of far more detailed observations. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MAVEN, Odyssey, and others, though their current operational status under the shutdown is uncertain. But thankfully, science is a global endeavor. The European Space Agency remains active with its Mars Express orbiter and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, both slated to observe Atlas during this close approach. These are not small instruments. They carry sophisticated cameras and spectrometers that can analyze the object's composition, its outgassing, its plasma emissions, and its optical signatures. In fact, today, October 3rd, both spacecraft are aligned for observation just 30 million kilometers from the target, a blink by cosmic standards. Their mission, to capture the most detailed images yet of 3Iatlas, and to collect spectra that may finally tell us what this thing is made of. But Atlas, as always, refuses to behave like a normal comet. Even now, it displays a green glow, reminiscent of diatomic carbon emissions, but brighter, purer, and oddly stable. Most comets develop long, luminous tails as they approach the sun streams of gas and dust stretching millions of kilometers. Atlas, however, has no conventional tail. It possesses instead an anti-tail, a structure pointing sunward, as if matter is flowing in the wrong direction. To see an object defy the simple rules of solar radiation, pressure is disorienting. It is like watching a feather fall upward, yet that is what the telescopes record. The last clear Earth-based images we have of Atlas were taken before the sun's glare swallowed it from our view on September 25th, 27th, and October 2nd. The earliest, from Namibia, shows Atlas glowing vividly green with that unmistakable anti-tail, an object lit from within as much as without. The later frames by astrophotographer Mr. Romang, captured just before it became unobservable, show that the coma, the hazy envelope of gas surrounding its core, remains compact, dense, and structured. Infrared readings suggest the coma stretches over 700,000 kilometers across roughly half the diameter of the Sunday. That is not a typo. The diffuse plasma surrounding Atlas is now enormous, likely expanding as solar heating ionizes it further. And still, no classical cometary tail, no elegant ribbon of vapor trailing behind. Instead, this interstellar visitor continues to defy classification. Now, add to this yet another coincidence, if indeed we can still call them coincidences. On September 25th, just days before its closest approach to Mars, Atlas was struck by a coronal mass ejection from the sun, a titanic blast of plasma and magnetism. Scientists had expected such an impact to alter its appearance, perhaps to strip away part of its coma. Yet post-impact observations show little change. Atlas remains strangely stable, as if shielded by some unknown property of its material or its field. We can list the anomalies like items in a cosmic riddle. It travels faster than almost anything we've seen. It aligns perfectly with the plane of our solar system. It glows the wrong color, forms tails in the wrong direction, resists solar weather, and reflects light as if its surface were engineered metal. No wonder people are whispering, half in jest, half in awe that this may not be a natural object at all. Even conservative astronomers admit Atlas challenges every model we have. And that is precisely why this Mars window is so crucial. From Earth, our telescopes are now blinded by the sun's glare. For Mars, however, the geometry is perfect. For the next few days, our orbiters and rovers, those silent, tireless emissaries, are humanity's only eyes on this alien traveler. But that brings us back to the shutdown. It's a bitter irony. At the moment of greatest opportunity, our hands are tied. The very systems designed to coordinate and share this kind of data are shuttered. As of today, 1.5 million government employees are furloughed. NASA's social channels are dark. Public data servers have paused updates. For scientists on the ground, it feels like trying to study a solar eclipse with the blinds drawn. And yet, the European Space Agency proceeds. Their Mars Express and ExoMars missions will continue their observations through the weekend. In early November, the JUICE spacecraft, the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, will also train its instruments toward Atlas as it begins its swing past the inner solar system. JUICE's orbit is uniquely positioned to collect data as Atlas passes near the orbit of Venus and then arcs outward again. However, JUICE will fall into solar conjunction, meaning the sun will block its communication with Earth, so data transmission may be delayed until February 2026. Until then, the results will remain sealed inside the spacecraft's memory banks, circling quietly in the void, waiting for the lines to reopen. Even so, that data will be priceless. By the time it returns, 3Iatlas will have completed its closest approach to the Sunday. We will see how it behaves under maximum heating, whether it fragments, as comets often do, or whether it endures, as though built to withstand the furnace of a star. Meanwhile, two other nations now have the opportunity to step forward. China's Tianwen-1 orbiter and the United Arab Emirates HOPE mission, both circling Mars since 2020, could train their instruments on Atlas as well. Each carries high-resolution cameras, infrared spectrometers, and plasma sensors capable of collecting data independent of American or European control. If coordinated properly, we could see a multinational observation campaign providing humanity's most complete portrait yet of an interstellar visitor. Imagine it. A network of machines built by different nations, all turning their gaze toward a single alien traveler. It is a moment that transcends politics, a reminder that science, at its core, belongs to no one and to everyone. Still, as Atlas streaks past Mars, we must ask, what exactly are we looking at? The official position is cautious. The European Space Agency labels it a comet, following convention. But even they admit it doesn't quite fit the profile. Its trajectory, inclination, chemical composition, and reflectivity all diverge sharply from what we'd expect. Some point to its origin. Tracing its path backward, it appears to come from roughly the same region of sky as the famous "wow" signal detected in 1977, only 9 degrees away. Perhaps it's coincidence. But to those who study cosmic patterns, coincidence begins to feel like a thin disguise for something deeper. And so, we stand here in a strange convergence of cosmic and earthly forces. An interstellar visitor, unlike any before, passing close to Mars, a solar outburst striking it days before, a global shutdown dimming our access to data. It is as though the universe has orchestrated a test, not of our instruments, but of our patience, our collaboration, and our curiosity. Because the truth is, We do not yet know what Atlas is. It could be a comet, yes, an unusually metallic, stable, fast-moving comet. It could be a fragment of a shattered world from another sun, coated in exotic materials, forged in alien chemistry. Or, more provocatively, it could be something else entirely. A construct, a probe, or even a relic, drifting through space long after its makers are gone. Whatever it is, this object has already redefined what we thought possible. And here's the most poetic irony of all. As Atlas approaches Mars, the planet we once worshipped as a god of war, we find ourselves divided by a government shutdown, unable to fully unite in observation. Meanwhile, machines from across nations, Europe, China, the UAE, carry on the work, quietly recording data that may one day rewrite our cosmic story. If 3Iatlas is trying to tell us something, perhaps that is the message, that no single nation, no single agency owns the stars. The universe does not wait for budgets or politics. It moves according to laws older than life itself. Now, as it nears its perihelion on October 30th, Atlas will swing through the inner solar system like a blade of green light, warming, brightening, and perhaps transforming. If it survives its pass by the sun, it will emerge again, heading outward toward Jupiter, and there the JUICE spacecraft will greet it, performing its quiet vigil among the icy moons. But if Atlas disintegrates, as comets sometimes do, we may be witnessing the final act of something ancient beyond measure, a shard of another world, returning to stardust after untold eons of wandering. In the coming months, as data trickles in, we will study every frame, every pixel, every spectrograph. We will measure its spin, its emissions, its plasma tail, and perhaps, just perhaps, we will begin to glimpse the truth of what 3Iatlas really is. For now, all we can do is watch and wait. The universe has placed before us a puzzle. It has handed us a mirror. And in that mirror, we see both our fragility and our potential. The species that looks outward and dares to ask not just how, but why. So as Atlas drifts past Mars today, let us remember that this is not just a comet or a curiosity. It is a messenger from the deep, a reminder that space is not empty, and that sometimes the greatest discoveries arrive not with fanfare, but with silence and a faint green glow across the night. Because perhaps, just perhaps, the cosmos is watching to see if we are ready to listen.